Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I just want to start this episode out by apologizing for the last episode. The audio quality was subpar. The area I'm recording in right now is not the most conducive space to record in, but it is where the set is until the other room is set up and good to go. So apologies there. I'll also say from the start, this one's going to be a little bit shorter. Not like the format I typically do for something like this, but it's going to be pretty off the cuff, and that may also account for a subpar quality this time. I was able to get my hands on the Super Nintendo Classic. I went to a midnight launch here at Walmart. It was only a midnight launch because they are open 24 hours. None of the other stores had a midnight launch at all. I was in a line of about 40 other people or so, and then the staff started telling people that they should probably go somewhere else or go home, or it was a bad idea to stick around more or less. I waited for a while. I think it ended up being 6:30 to midnight, so like 5.5 hours. There was only one other group of people there before, just two people in line before me, and we became such friends by the end of it that they actually gave me the first spot in line.
It's right there. It's like right there.
I did get the Super Nintendo Classic first off the line at Walmart in Tucson, Arizona.
Woo!
Now, I'm not going to spend too much time reviewing the games or even really the system itself. That's not really what this is about. There are plenty of review videos around, so if you really want to know about individual games, you should probably just search for them. I can confirm the system does make those games look incredible. I actually played it with my morning coffee this morning on the floor, and you can see that here now. As far as the system goes, it's pretty much what you'd expect. It outputs all the games listed in a nice HD format so that your TV can process it. The games look incredible in almost pixel-perfect detail. So as far as the specs of the system go, it's good. It's good. Really what I want to talk about is the system itself, because I was incredibly surprised by the size and also some of the features on the system, which I was horribly wrong about the last time I was talking to you. One of the first things you'll notice when you pick up the system is its incredible size. I know I saw a picture of somebody holding this thing, saw it in the palm of their hand, but I still was pretty blown away when I opened this thing up and saw the size of the system. Oh, speaking of opening it up, this box is awesome. I'm going to keep this as a display item on my shelf for quite some time. It also comes with a very large poster, which I'm debating having framed or not. I really can't decide. Second thing you'll notice when you have the system is these are not actually controller ports. It is actually just a flap for classic controller ports. So a large chunk of my video where I was criticizing this is incorrect. So I definitely apologize about that. I know what you're thinking. Did you not watch the commercial for this thing, or any pre-release reviews of it, or look at like a blueprint of the specs or anything? Those are all true statements. My desire to preserve the experience of opening this thing up and being fresh, it basically led me to be ignorant when I was going into it. So it was wrong of me to criticize the thing as much as I did from the start. However, my original converter point still stands. Now, I am a little disappointed I can't use my era-specific controllers on these, but if you want to use a joystick, you can plug in basically any other classic controller, and it'll work just fine. This also ensures that any wireless third-party classic controllers will still work with this thing as well, so that's good. But I'm more disappointed that there's pretty much no way I can make that work on my PC without purchasing an additional item. There is still very little reason why the cord couldn't end in a USB cord and then have a converter for a classic controller port instead, and that pretty much solves the whole USB thing. Now I can use the controller on my Switch like I should have been able to do the whole time. It seems like the plan for the main part of their business is to really push the Switch and downplay the Wii U and the Wii as much as possible. So I really don't understand why we're still relying on this classic controller port. Yeah, I get to use all my other controllers from the Wii on this thing, but I got two controllers with this thing, so why would I want to use another one? You think I'm going to use a joystick on this thing? It doesn't make any sense. I want to be able to have that cord and a USB port so I can use it on my Switch, which is the system that Nintendo's backing right now. So have it at any USB, convert it to a classic controller, and then we're good to go. Everybody's happy. I mean, I'm happy at least. Now, one really minor complaint I have is that the system is powered by mini USB, like a standard cell phone charger, which is great because I have plenty of those laying around, but if I'm going into something with a gaming mindset, I have the Switch, which is powered by a USB-C. So wouldn't it make more sense for them to use the same power cord? Of course not, because they want you to buy as many cords as possible. Now, if we talk about the controllers for a bit, the shape feels good, but the texture feels a little bit weird. This may be because I was born in 1992, so every Super Nintendo controller I've touched has been aged a little bit. But these feel odd. The plastic just feels a little bit too grippy, a little bit too textured. When I compare this to the older systems controllers, these ones feel smooth, and it may just be from wear and tear from your hands. It feels like a different plastic almost. I don't think it is, but it feels like it. One thing that I found out during this comparison is that my Super Nintendo controller from back in the day is actually a Super Famicom controller. It even says so on the back. On the front it just says Nintendo instead of Super Nintendo like the American versions did. So that's funny. In comparing the weights, they feel about the same. The Super Nintendo controller feels a little bit heavier, but that may just be because of the longer cord that's attached to it. Alright, let's wrap this up. Is this thing going to replace your Super Nintendo? No. Are you going to want to play these games over the cartridge-based counterparts? No. But they do update those games so they play really nicely on a modern HD TV. So if you can't afford or have the time to mod your SNES to output an RGB, then this is a really good alternative. You're just limited in your choice of games. I know some people are modding these and adding as many games as they want, but I personally am going to keep this thing as a collector's item, playing it occasionally if I want to get the best experience as far as video is concerned. All in all, I'd recommend buying it if you can get your hands on one. Good luck! Now, it is my plan, or at least a goal of mine, to review all these games in a review style, but I don't have a capture card right now, so I don't have any way to get really good footage of each game. With that in mind, keep an eye out for those reviews, and I'll be sure to get them out as soon as possible. I'd also like to live stream some of these, but that is going to be dependent on how quickly I can get a capture card. That's it for this time, guys. Tune in next time when we'll be covering something completely different. Please leave me a like, a comment, and subscribe if you want future updates. Thanks.